Mr. Rao, how big is your facility? Where exactly is it located? Does it have several branches in Bangalore?
Our facility is located on the Airport Whitefield Road. This is also called the
You mean to say old airport?
Old Airport Whitefield Road. It's called Old Varthur Main Road, and it is that road that leads from the old airport towards Whitefield. It's bang on the main road, and it's about 7 kilometers from the old airport.
How big is your facility?
The facility, the government of Karnataka, knowing what work we were going to do, has given us 5 acres of land on a long lease, and on that land we have built this facility. We have built this facility to look after 50 patients at a time, and in those 50 beds we can look after not only those 50, but as each patient passes away, we can look after. So on one day the same bed could be occupied by 2 different people in succession. So that is at any given time, as I said a little earlier, we have about 40 to 45 patients in our care as inpatient care in Karunashraya. In addition to these 45 patients, we have roughly 45 to 50 patients in another service that we offer, and that is called the home care service.
I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
Okay, we can continue,
Yeah.
because I was about to ask you that.
Okay.
I wanted to say, I believe we have a home service too.
Okay.
So you go ahead.
Okay. So what we have is the inpatient service that's called Karunashraya, and the home care service, where our staff goes to the homes of patients and helps the family to look after them. So these 2 services between them can look after during any given day around 90 to 100 patients. So in the city of Bangalore, there are about 100 people being looked after by us at any given time in these 2 services put together.
Mr. Rao, which areas of Bangalore do you cover in the home service?
We cover the whole of Bangalore city, and we go to a distance of about 30-35 kilometers radius of our place. This is a limitation of about 30-35 kilometers radius, because all our services are rendered by auto rickshaws. The staff go in auto rickshaws to the homes of the people. There is a particular reason for that, which we will come to later on, but since it is auto rickshaws, we can't go too far off also. So in a radius of 35 kilometers from our facility, we can look after people. So we can, for example, we can look after people almost up to Kengeri on one side, almost up to almost bordering Hosur on the other side. So all these areas are covered by our home care service, and the home care service is only a sort of preparatory type of care, and that graduates into inpatient care later on. So we can talk about that.
Okay, but you can go ahead.
When a patient is discharged from the hospital after his curative treatment is over, he goes home, and many times while he is in the hospital, he is told that you don't have to worry when you go home. There is an organization called Karunashraya which sends people to your homes, and we will look after them. The contact is given to us, and our team reaches there within 24 working hours of the patient going home. Or if there is a telephone call to us saying that a patient is lying at maybe at Kengeri somewhere, or Yashwantpur or somewhere, then within 24 hours working hours, our team will reach him, and the team assesses his condition and decides whether home care is to be given or inpatient care is to be given. So that's how we first reach our patients. If home care is adequate, if the family members do not wish to send the patient to the inpatient care, or if the patient himself is a little hesitant, he's gone through a lot of hospital work, so if he's a little hesitant, then we continue to give home care. And the home care is given not only to the patient, but to the family members also. Now, why I say to the family members, it's a sort of a training we conduct for the family members in their own homes along with the patient. Very often a patient at that stage can't even stand up to change his clothes, can't even get up and go to the bathroom, can't even sit up to eat his meals. And the family members, never having addressed a situation like this, are totally at a loss what to do. So our home care team not only looks after the patient, but trains the family members on providing all these types of care. So that is the home care situation. A stage might come for a home care patient where the family is finding it increasingly difficult because the symptoms are getting worse and worse. As that stage progresses, as the advanced stage progresses, it is possible that the family members are not able to look after the patient. So at that stage, we tell them about the inpatient care, and the same patient is then brought into Karunashraya, where we render this care. And this care in Karunashraya, in the hospice, is rendered on a 24 hours basis. We have doctors, we have nurses, we have nursing helpers who look after the patient round the clock because they work in shifts. So at no time is the patient left without care, and he is looked after in the hospice.
Mr. Rao, do you also provide staff to look after their patients in their homes on a full-time or part-time basis?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Balram, we had started this service because we found that there were many families, in spite of our training, etc., were finding it difficult to look after a patient at home. So we had started a service, and we had called this a support service. We would train young girls between the ages of 18 and 23 or so from poor backgrounds. We had 3 criteria when we selected girls for this sort of training. I'll tell you about the training, but I'll tell you about the criteria of how we select the girls. We had insisted that they should be from poor families. We had insisted that they should have reached the 10th standard stage, might not have passed the examination, but the 10th standard stage, because they had to be literate if they had to read the names of medicines, etc. And the third thing is that they had to be willing to stay in the patient's home and look after the patient. If such was the case, then these girls would be brought to Karunashraya, and for a period of 6 months, we would train them hands-on with 1 or 2 hours of classroom training during the day, but the rest of the training would be entirely hands-on with the patients we have there. So they would have a rounded training, well-rounded training, and at the end of 6 months, they would go and look after patients at home. During the 6 months, we not only provided them accommodation and food, but we gave them a stipend also. It was a small stipend of 500 rupees, but that was to add dignity to the work that they were going to do. So these girls who came from poor families began to earn something right from the beginning. They rendered a service to a patient, and the family got one more earning member because we would guarantee them a job. But I am very sad to say, extremely sad to say, that we have not had girls coming forward for this training. And that's another thing that this program can help to do, is if this is spread, this knowledge is spread, then girls from poor families who don't want to or they cannot pursue their education any further, they can come to us and we will train them. We will guarantee them the job after that, either in our own Karunashraya where the patients need to be looked after, or we will place them in the homes of patients